Welcome back. Small business sentiment is down to an 11-month low in the month of March. National Federation of Independent Business reporting optimism dropping below its long-term average because uncertainty is spiking while future expectations have weakened, alongside a decline in consumer sentiment. Business owners are warning that higher energy costs are the issue. They're squeezing profits and passing those costs on to the consumers and the customers. Joining me now is U.S. Small Business Administrator Kelly Loeffler. Kelly, it's great to have you. Thank you so much for being here. So there's a lot of worry about energy and the cost, squeezing profits. You're traveling the country all the time. I want to get your take on what you're hearing from business people today, because the president just told me he thinks oil prices, including gasoline, are going down and will be lower right before the midterm elections.
Well, Maria, it's great to be with you, and I completely agree with the president. And I see that as I travel across the country, the small business community is investing and growing thanks to President Trump's working family tax cuts. In fact, they're lining up for the biggest tax refunds in American history, and that's especially for the hardest working Americans, small businesses and their employees all over this country. And so what we see across the country, whether it's the National Federation of Retail, the sales are up strongly, consumer confidence is rising, small businesses are investing. I was in Nebraska this week at Blue Patriot. The owner, they manufacture pipes, and they pointed out the big, beautiful building that they're investing in because of the tax cut bill that the Republicans passed, and every single Democrat voted against it. But because of this tax bill, small businesses, 12 million so far, are seeing a $7,000 improvement in their tax bill. This is unprecedented, and this is why there is tremendous investment going on across this country.
Yeah, and that's what I want to ask you about, because obviously today is tax day, and we've got this new IRS data that shows refunds are up 11% over where they were a year ago. The average refund for consumers, $3,400, which is a lot of money. I mean, I spoke with the president about it, and he talked a bit about what it means for taxpayers. Watch this.
It's tax day. What do you want to make sure people understand about the changes that you put in the tax code in the big, beautiful bill? And how significant are these refunds that people are getting?
Okay, well, the refunds are really significant, and it makes it less complicated to do your tax return, much less complicated. But the people, I mean, I think you're seeing this, you're reporting, everybody's reporting, because now it's gone into effect. And people are getting refunds of $5,000, $8,000, $11,000 that they had no idea they were getting. It's turned out to be better, as good or better than I said it would be.
Is that going to be enough to offset the increase in gasoline prices?
It will be, because gasoline's coming down very soon and very big.
So you think gas prices will be lower before the midterm elections?
I think they'll be much lower before midterm, much lower, yes.
Kelly, your thoughts there? I mean, you know, it's an issue now, but does this turn around? The president said he's expecting this war to end soon.
Well, absolutely, and we'll have much more stability when the president sees that realized, which I believe will be very soon. And look, small businesses are seeing the benefits of this tax bill in real time, paired with deregulation, paired with fair trade. But just look at the benefits of the tax bill for the workers of small business. Over 30 million Americans have already benefited from no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. I was in Ohio at March 1st Brewers. They had over 200 employees. They're getting on average $2,500 back thanks to these tax cuts. That's going to continue to power this boom that's happening on Main Street. Under Bidenomics, Main Street was crushed with Green New Deal, massive regulation, being put on their back foot by unfair trade deals. So these small businesses are coming back, and I've seen it in Coosa Steel. They were down to one shift of workers. Now they're up to 3 shifts, 6 days a week. So we see this transformation going on across the country because the president's tailwinds are much stronger than any short-term headwinds.
So, Kelly, I tried to ask the president to articulate some of the things that are most important from the tax bill and, you know, the one big, beautiful bill, because you're seeing it right up close and personal in terms of small business. What are they writing off? What are they able to write off? I mean, because I had one entrepreneur tell me recently, look, I have this new parking lot. I've got, you know, computers and printers, all this stuff I'm writing off because of the 100% expensing is a critical part of the big, beautiful bill. And I want you to explain specifically how small businesses can take advantage of this new tax code.
Well, absolutely. The biggest write-off is the 20% pass-through deduction. That's Section 199A, where 20% of their income can be deducted from their earnings. So that creates a tremendous tailwind for these small businesses to then reinvest and hire. But then you have the accelerated depreciation, 100% expensing in year one for R&D, for physical equipment, CapEx. And that's why we see buildings going up all over this country. Prince Manufacturing in South Georgia is building an all-new building and hiring 500 new employees in rural Georgia. This is an incredibly strong economic engine. President Trump has created this all over the country, and it's tax cuts, it's deregulation, it's fair trade, it's energy dominance that is allowing all of this to happen in the first place.
Exactly. And the president came into office with energy dominance being a major piece of his agenda. We didn't know we were going to go to war with Iran. We didn't know what he was going to do with Venezuela. But that all has combined to put the United States in such a better place in terms of energy. He said in his address to the nation the other night that we're producing more oil than Saudi Arabia and Russia combined.
Well, that's right, Maria. Oil and natural gas. And these are the very energy products that the Biden administration tried to shut in and prevent Americans from having access to abundant, low-cost energy. And that's certainly where the president wants to take us with having energy security and having international stability. That's what he's working toward very quickly. And that's what small businesses are going to be benefiting from in the long term, along with deregulation.
Oh, deregulation is a critical point. It's an important point. I'm glad that you made it. Are there areas that you are hearing from small business that they still need help with? Because when I speak with the oil companies, many of them mention permitting. That permitting is still an issue. The president did executive orders on this, but do we need to see Congress codify some of that?
Well, certainly I know the deregulatory actions that this administration has taken is unprecedented, cutting about 120 regulations for every new regulation. We've worked certainly very closely with EPA, deregulating, whether it's DEF or right to repair, so many things that crush small businesses. But the thing that we hear is interest rates. Small businesses would like interest rates to get down. I know the president's working very hard on that. We've got pretty stable inflation here now, core inflation 2.6. There's no reason interest rates can't come down and give some relief to small business, home buyers, and the rest of hardworking Americans.
All right, we're going to talk with Lee Zeldin more about that and the codifying of those executive orders. But Kelly, it's great to see you, particularly on tax day. Thanks for walking us through all those really important points in terms of what's in the big, beautiful bill and expensing options for businesses. We appreciate it.
It's really important. Thank you, Maria.
All right, good to see you, Small Business Administrator Kelly Loeffler. We'll be right back. We've got a lot more to come right here. You're watching Mornings with Maria live from Washington all morning long. Stay with us.